Okay, so now we've got our translucent marker paper, and I put in my printout, and it's a little hard to distinguish everything, but we're not going for just an exact copy. I'm just using that as a basis, and I'll just start sketching over it. Let's go into fast forward mode now so you don't have to watch me sketch because it might take a while. Okay, so that was our sketch, and there's a couple things I want to point out. First of all, when you're drawing this out, you're trying to maintain the width of your lettering, like the width of the actual letter forms themselves. The other thing is, unless you have like really bouncy, kind of kidsy, playful type, you want to maintain either a straight line or a nice arc to your lowercase letters. You may have noticed I drew out some lines like this, and that was just to hold those lowercase letters into place. The other thing that I'm doing, you'll notice that this type is very bubbly, and what I did was I straightened off some edges and kind of hardened things up a little bit, and that's to make it look a little more masculine and purposeful, but it really just depends on what you're going for. So there's one other trick I want to show you that I learned in design school that's really, really underrated, and you'll probably get a lot of use out of it, especially if you're new to sketching and you're having problems with proportion. And the trick is, once you've kind of got your design drawn out on your marker paper or semi-transparent paper, just flip it over and look at it, and instantly you'll see any proportion problems that you have, any line weights that are too thick or too thin compared to the other letters. And what you can do is, when you notice those, go in and actually draw over it backwards. And there's two reasons this works. One reason is that your mind does something funny when you draw. Things are usually skewed to one side, and the more you draw, the better you'll get, and you won't have that problem so much. But the other thing is, these are letter forms, and your mind sees them as like a letter T or a letter P, and when you flip it over, now it's just a shape, so you don't have that bias going into it. And you can just fix everything that way. So there's a little tip, and try it, and you'll realize it's actually really useful. So now what we're going to do is scan this, and I'll draw all the vector lines in Adobe Illustrator.